No matter how you slice it or dice it, swatting somebody is premeditated, attempted murder. It is domestic terrorism. It's the action of calling an operator and telling her that there's somebody in this house that just killed a whole bunch of people, has a firearm, and now is a danger to the entire community. And this alerts local law enforcement, who gets together a SWAT team, and then they have a whole bunch of people surround your house and put your life in mortal jeopardy. And in the last 48 hours, a whole bunch of conservative commentators have been swatted. We're going to hear from some of them. Here's a partial list. I think there are more. Cat Turd, Gunther Eagleman, Joe Pags, Nick Sorter, Sean Farash, who's the Trump impersonator, Chase Geiser from InfoWars, Mike Engelman, and Walter Kurt. We're going to hear from a couple people right now. This is Joe Pags. We're just going to go over some of their stories real quick.
So I waited a couple of days because I didn't want to put this out there yesterday and put fuel in the fire, maybe give somebody some oxygen who's trying to get some publicity out of this. But we were swatted 2 nights ago at my house. Now, the good thing is I'm up until about 5 o'clock in the morning. This happened at 2:35 a.m. And we have cameras around the house. Some you can see, some you can't. So if you're a bad guy out there, you're not going to see where they all are. But we have cameras outside the house. And at 2:35 in the morning, I got an indication on my phone that there was some camera or there was some movement. It's a motion sensor at the front door. And I went, okay, that's weird. Maybe a bug. Who knows? Maybe the dogs had to go out. My wife took the dogs out. Nope. It was a guy holding an AR-15 with a cap on, looking in my window. Now, at that point, you say to yourself, well, I've got a rifle too. Can go grab that and go see what's what. I've got 5 other guns nearby. Grab some of them, go see what's what. And then, end up in a shootout at 2:35 in the morning in the middle of rural Texas. That's something that I don't think that I wanted to do immediately. So what happened was I had this level of calculation in my brain going about a million miles a second. And I said, okay, first thing I need to do, because when it's at night, the cameras are very good. They're color cameras, they're audio cameras. But at night, it goes to sort of a night vision view. So I can't tell if it's a police officer or not. I don't know who it is, but he looks a little bit nervous. But believe me, I've got a video of this guy with a rifle at my front door, like holding it, ready to use it.
I hope people understand how deadly this is, how dangerous a game this is. This is a coordinated attack and a coordinated effort on people who say things that the people who called the SWAT team in don't like. So when somebody exercises their freedom of speech now in America, you can expect to be swatted if somebody doesn't like what you said. Think about this. Anything could go wrong. If you didn't know this was a cop, even knowing it's a cop, but if you didn't know it's a cop and you're going to protect your family, you're going to protect your property, you're going to protect yourself, you're going to go get your gun and you're going to shoot this guy, and you didn't know you just shot a cop. Now you got about 12 other cops shooting in your direction, filling your house and your family full of holes. This is how dangerous this whole thing is.
Rifle at my front door, like holding it, ready to use it. And I called 911. That was the right answer. And I said, this is my address. This is who I am. Radio, television, talk show host. So some would say public figure. I think I'm being swatted. Are you guys at my house? But 2 seconds later, she said, yes, we are. We got a report of this, and this. Dogs were shot. People were bleeding. People were hiding. And none of that was true. None of it true. Not a bit of it. So I said, none of that's happening. Please tell him to stand down. I'll come out with my hands up while I have you on the phone with me, and I'll explain what's going on.
Your life is on the line. There are no two ways about it. This is Sean Farash, who's a Trump impersonator.
Hey guys.
And social media commentator and a conservative.
Guys, it's Sean, my wife Brennan, and just wanted to give you guys an update. We did just get swatted here in Tennessee. The officer said they received a phone call that somebody murdered somebody in the house and was planning a suicide by cop. So I received the call with that information. We cooperated with police. They were very nice.
They were actually very nice.
Very, very nice. They were not aware that this was going on across the country. Was that, how did you feel about that? What was going through your head when you saw officers in the backyard with guns?
I was shaking. I was terrified. I was the only one awake. He was asleep.
Yeah.
And they were just pointing their guns into the house, and I
Yeah.
was very scared. I was
that's
very
it.
scared.
And that's the point, and that's what these people are trying to do. They are trying to silence folks who are not afraid to speak their mind online. And you've seen it happen to so many other people across the country. We're going to do what we can from Tennessee to try and get to the bottom of who's responsible for it. I'd like to see the Justice Department or somebody somewhere get involved with getting to the bottom of it, because you can see it's not a joke. You're coming up to people's homes with very, very big guns that are very unsettling to a lot of people. And, one wrong move could create a disaster. And
Sean handled it very well. He was very calm and collected.
Yeah, because we're seeing it happening all across the country. Yeah. We have nothing to hide. None of this stuff happened. But the bottom line is that if the result was that the person or people who did this was that I was going to stop doing things, it's not going to happen. So we're not blinking. It sucked. It was not ideal. And then they sent pizza.
Yeah.
Domino's and Papa John's both showed up. So, then they said it was a cash order. That doesn't mean the person paid with cash. They meant it. You have to, it's COD. COD. So for anybody else who's dealing with it, if you got pizza, you are not alone either. But bottom line is, I'm not going to stop. That's not the result that these people are going to get. If it happens to anybody else, feel free to let either one of us know on social media. It could definitely be worse. What happened to the J6ers was that times 100. So it could have definitely been worse. Our law enforcement out here, Rutherford County Sheriff, they were phenomenal, very nice, very understanding after the whole thing kind of sorted itself out. We're happy that they responded in that way.
And it's not likely that law enforcement will be tipped off that this is actually happening on kind of an epidemic scale in America, because not everybody, like I said, not everybody's tapped into social media. Not everybody's on the X platform. Not everybody's on Facebook. And if you don't have mainstream media, or at least local TV news, talking about what's going on here, then you're probably not going to have the awareness you need to have in law enforcement so they can maybe make a phone call before they get the SWAT teams and the MRAPs and then surround your house and jeopardize the lives of your family. FBI Director Kash Patel responded to this, saying, "I want to address the alarming rise in swatting incidents targeting media figures. The FBI is aware of this dangerous trend, and my team and I are already taking action to investigate and hold those responsible accountable. This isn't about politics. Weaponizing law enforcement against any American is not only morally reprehensible, but also endangers lives, including those of our officers. That will not be tolerated." That's another thing too. When a cop shows up and if you defend your house, a cop could die. The people in the house could be completely obliterated by gunfire by the law enforcement, and with return fire, the cops could die too. The people making these calls and swatting all these people do not care about human life. They just want you to shut up. Stop saying things we don't want to hear. I don't care what your politics is. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Libertarian. It doesn't matter. You don't have a right to jeopardize somebody else's life. We are fully committed to working with law enforcement to crack down on these crimes. More updates to come. They should have a more efficient system so that when a person calls in, these people do this anonymously. They probably have burner phones. There's probably no way to trace them, or they may be stupid enough to be using a phone that actually points to somebody. Another Trump supporter, Gunther Eagleman, says the gloves are off. First off, my family's safe. My house was just swatted. Some ignorant F called in a fake hostage situation. Fortunately, I have good relations with law enforcement and extra patrols will be added. I don't tolerate threats and will find the culprit. This was their worst mistake. So again, this swatting idea, or these people who are swatting others, they are the worst of the worst, and they truly deserve to be removed from society and thrown into jail. You gotta cross your T's and dot your I's. Make sure you're very careful. We are entering some really, really crazy times. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought, please, in the comments section below. If you want to support this channel, the links are in the description. I've got Patreon, Cash App, and buy me a coffee, or you can grab one of these hard-hitting conversation-starting shirts like this one right here, clowns to the left, jokers to the right, and here I am stuck in the middle with you. Subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, and I will see you in the next video.